It wouldn't be an international event if there wasn't North American roster moves and drama and beyond happening all at the same time. We're pretty much used to that here in NA. So, it's time to bring back a series that many of you might be familiar with. If you're new around here, first and foremost, welcome. If you haven't subbed to the channel, be sure to do so. But during international events where the majority are over in Korea, well, 50% are in Korea or China, we wake up here in North America to all the headlines and the scores. You can anticipate watching this series every day without a spoiler in the thumbnail, without a spoiler in the title, but I will give you everything you need to know as a North American fan during international events. So welcome back to Good Morning North America. Sometimes this series is fun to record, mostly before the games get started. Sometimes it's an absolute disaster, but we're gonna be along for the ride. So today, I don't have any games to highlight. When I do have games to highlight, I'm gonna try and do something that I haven't seen anybody else do in the space, which is do a ESPN, like NFL primetime style summary of the series and then go into it and talk about it and then do the same thing for the second series and just keep repeating the pattern. Then we'll go over to headlines. But given that we have no games today, let's start with the headlines outside of MSI before getting into pick'ems and predictions. The big news in North America is that Cloud9 are seeing a roster change. Despite people wanting to see Sven and Blabber both dropped, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but rather, Tactical is being brought in as the sixth man for the squad. Now, Tactical is going to be looked down upon by many, myself included. There is a certain element of this that I'm like, okay, we couldn't have gone with like a younger player. It's a little bit more fresh that hasn't had their chance, that can be molded by the C9 system that used to be the process of old. At the same time, Tactical has been popping off in NACL, so this could be a similar to Dokla style move where he comes back and maybe pops off a little bit more and is more consistent and is exactly what C9 needs. We don't know yet, but at a minimum, it is nice to see C9 making moves. Look, I am their biggest hater out of anybody, but even I will tell you that Cloud9 was at their best when they were the ones making changes before they necessarily needed to, or being willing to pull the trigger on roster moves that some people might have found controversial or the timing of it was bad. Like, think back to 2018 Cloud9 benching some of their star players for Golden Glue and some others going in. It was trial by fire, but they figured it out and it led to their best international results. So in this case, you would think, okay, maybe this can get the spark going with some of these guys. But the difference is that Tactical is not like a Licorice or a Zazel, who is an unproven player at that point. We're waiting to see their potential. With Tactical, we've seen the ceiling. We know how good this can be. It's more of a risk, so to speak. Maybe it'll ignite Sven, but I think all the other pieces around the league as well are only going to get better. So I'm not sold on this being the magic fix that gets them to Worlds in a world where FlyQuest is continuously improving. But I'm very happy that they're making this move because it also once again makes C9 matches must watch. Like, we gotta see what happens here. I'm assuming you're just not going to see the same starting five over and over again, otherwise it's kind of pointless, kind of like the Lion roster move with Castle, but only time will tell. Either way, C9 fans, I'm judging based on your Reddit. You don't seem happy, but I would say that was also the case for C9 for many years, where people weren't happy about the roster moves and then they ended up working out. So have a little bit of faith in your systems, even if I'm still hoping that it doesn't work out. The other thing to note is that for everybody across the world, not just North America, ranked 5s return as of today of you watching this video. They will be live from 10 p.m. Eastern time to 2 a.m., which means you'll be able to get a game in before the first series of MSI takes place. I'm going to be live this weekend playing ranked 5s while also watching our teams play on the international stage, because that's just the nature of being a North American fan. You stay up late, you play the games, and then you watch them as well. Again, you need 5 people to play together all at one time. You cannot go in with anything less. This is not flex queue. This is ranked 5s. And Drew Levin put the question on Twitter earlier today. He's like, would you rather have preset teams with, say, substitutes on them, or just have like individual ranks that go together? And the solution that, or not even solution, the answer that I have personally wanted to see enacted is that I hope every player has an individual ranking. Absolutely. That allows you the flexibility to play with whoever on that day. I think a lot of people look at ranked 5s and they look at the old way it was 10 plus years ago. And I just don't think that's applicable for the majority of the player base that has aged up, that do have families, that have lives, and getting the consistent 5 on each and every weekend, or consistent enough in general, is going to be very difficult. But what I do think you can do is you force everybody, if they want to appear on leaderboards or they want any sort of prizing, or like if there's anything beyond this, you force everybody to sign up for a team in the way that it used to be, but you just don't have to play with them in order to access the queue. But on the leaderboard, you don't show any individual ranks. You only show the teams, like the top 10 teams based on aggregate elo of all 5 players starting, or, the 8 that are there. Doesn't matter. Just the top teams, so to speak. That way you keep that element of it, because there is a pride that comes with your squad, the logo that you pick, beyond the name, the clan tag, all of that being representative of you guys individually, which I really do like. It's like old school Call of Duty Clan Wars for those that used to play COD and didn't play League of Legends at the time that rank 5s was a thing. I love that style, but I just want the flexibility of playing knowing that, Paul might be busy with his kid. So if he's not able to get on, I want to make sure that I'm able to fill it out. And I can't guarantee that it's going to be, a consistent group otherwise. Because, hey, you know what? 31, getting older here, have a life, have things to do, but I want to be able to play this queue whenever I'm available to. So I think there's a best of both worlds that could be enacted here. Maybe like the top 3 teams, you send them all something as like a prize, and that's, your marketing budget or whatever that might be. Either way, rank 5 is available this weekend. I'll be streaming games throughout as we watch MSI. No other real headlines that I need to get into for my North American fans. Let's get into Pick'ems. I have not gone through any of this yet, so we're going to be doing it all for the very first time. Again, I think if you get it perfect, if I'm not mistaken, you get every single ultimate skin in the game, which would soon then include the Misfortune Gumayusi skin, which, by the way, those T1 skins look absolutely incredible. So, without further ado, let's get it. Oh no, it's a Broken Covenant. Anyways, Playins Pick'ems times. Let's pick out this bracket in particular. I know if I was going to be smart, obviously everybody's just going to go T1, KC, T1, TL. You pick your winner of this from here. I am willing to bet that somebody's going to do something special this tournament. I just don't think it's this one in particular. I find it hard to believe that there's going to be a world where T1 doesn't get through. There's a chance that somebody has a hot hand in this initial series, but I think T1, given more time, there's no way they don't come out of this group. The big matchup, though, that we are all looking forward to, at least if you're a North American or European fan, is this K-Corp versus Team Liquid series right here at the bottom. This is the single most important one that we are going to see all weekend. Well, I guess this will go through to Wednesday. And it'll be the first time in a bit that we've seen the 2 seed from Europe and North America face off against each other again, barring upsets. Because this is what should happen. We're finally going to get that matchup. And I have more faith in Team Liquid than people give us credit for. It would be the rematch of Bucio versus North America for the first time since he has gone over there to the enemy in the French. But alas, this is how I think the bracket is going to go. I feel very strongly about this one in particular. Oh, I forgot I have to pick T1. Close it out. Fine. Actually, let's create a leaderboard. Let's call it the Shine Knockers. Bang, there we go. If you guys want to join my leaderboard, join the Shine Knockers leaderboard, because why not? Let's have some fun, shall we? Now let's do our crystal ball predictions, which are a whole tournament spanning thing. MSI Playins, which champion will be picked the most? I feel like bot lane is a very consistent one that you're going to see here. You'll see Ashe, Seraphine typically around. Some people might ban the Seraphine. I don't see many people banning the Ashe in particular. It just feels like we're in a bot lane centric meta right now, so I feel very comfortable with that pick. Highest champion win rate with 5 games played at least. It's never a champion that has played a lot. It is typically a fringe pick. I never know what to go with this one, and I'm not the best with meta reads, so I'm just going to sit here and say I think Gragas has been fairly strong. It's a champion that I think you'll see top teams around the world play. Maybe not as much the bottom teams. It just, I don't know. I feel like Gragas might be that one. Or you could see like GP busted out, because we've started to see it come out of its shell or be picked a little bit, and I could see somebody like Ben playing it 4 or 5 games throughout series this tournament and really popping off on it. But Gragas, I think I'm going to stick with here. Which champion will have the lowest win rate? I feel pretty good about this and saying Senna. I feel like Senna will be a champion that you'll see a lot of the like lower regions play as a way to just scale and win, but then get their stuff pushed in pretty early on. What champion will have the most amount of kills? It's got to be either a mid laner or an ADC. I feel like if Ashe is going to be the most played, I feel like it could be Ashe, but she doesn't get a ton of kills. Varus, I feel like, will be banned. You know, I'm going to stick with the Ashe pick. Why not? Which pro will have the highest KDA? Unironically, could be a team that plays, you know, less than others, but at the same time, is it not showing all of the... Oh, this is only play-ins. Wait, these are all the play-ins predictions. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. That changes everything. Never mind. Highest KDA, I mean, obviously, we're probably going to go... I could see Owner having a ridiculously high KDA for no reason at all. You would think it would be Pays or somebody like Keria, assuming Keria doesn't die. But I feel like Owner is going to be actually going to be pretty high. Highest CS in a game for the entire tournament. Huh. Seems like a very LCK thing to do. So I'm going to go with Guma. Even though, actually, you know what? No, that sounds like a Pace thing. Guma feels like he's willing to sack it a little bit more. Which pro will be the most to get first blood? Oh, it's going to be somebody on BLG. Without question. Let's go with Knight. Why not? Highest average damage per game? Let's go Knight again. Why not? Which team will win the shortest game? Oh, God. You know, I could see a world where K-Core... Actually, no, we have a very fast speed with Team Liquid. You know what? I'm going to pick us. I could see us really just stomping a game and closing it out quick if Quid pops off and our bot lane gets ahead. People are going to think T1, but T1's a little bit more calculated. I could see us taking that risk and upping the tempo. Yeah, I'm going to go with us. Which team will kill the most amount of Elder Drakes? So you have to assume who is going to be playing games that go really long. I feel like Casey might... Well, no, Casey's not going to play enough. I'm actually going to go G2 because I feel like their games can get very lengthy, but they can also pull it out and steal those. Which team will get the least kills in a single game? Sorry, not sorry. Which team will play the most unique champions? Oh, brother, that's Homo life. Come on now. For MSI Playins, what will be the highest number of kills in a single game? I mean, we're bound to get a bloodbath banger, right? We definitely are, without question. 66 plus. How many unique champions will be picked? This is clearly tournament-wide, I'm guessing. We'll go 100. Best of 5 Fearless could really push this number up, actually. I'm going to go with 110 to 114. That feels fine. Will team will be picked? Okay, you can't word the question like this and then not expect me to say, true, I believe in the Scouts code. Even though I will... No, take the points. Take the points. What champion will be banned the most? Oh, I heard Gnosis is actually going to be like stupid OP. So I could see a world where he's banned because teams just don't want to deal with it. Hell yeah, we're going with it. There we go. I think that's pretty much everything. And again, if you want to join the Shy Knockers, I will make sure I put this in the community announcements in our Discord channel, put it on Twitter and beyond, and have it linked down in the description below of this video. The final thing to do in this situation is to preview the matchups for this upcoming weekend, of which there's really not much to say that I haven't done already. The expectation is pretty clear that it should be T1 winning over Team Liquid, and then KC, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I know anything about the LCP2 seed that they're playing. I'm just picking KC. But I do want to highlight the graphic that you are seeing over here that the LCS put out for this TL versus T1 series. It's not like we haven't gotten closer in recent years. Team Liquid notably was able to have a 3-1 series against T1 back in 2024's MSI. Now, they won Game 3, which at least breathed some signs of life, but were immediately shut out in Game 4. And it's not like a 5-game banger that we've seen versus Homo Life or BLG from FlyQuest in prior years. But if you haven't checked out the video that I posted on Wednesday talking about the history of North America at MSI this decade, we've slowly been getting better. Jungle is likely going to be a pretty big mismatch between Jose Dioto and Owner. Top lane, I could see a world where Morgan has a good series and is able to do something against Dorn. It's not saying Dorn's, you know, not good. He's just the weaker link of that roster if I had to pick one in particular. But the support difference between Core JJ and Keria is just one where I'm looking like, oh man, how do we overcome this? I can see a world because Yawn has actually had these moments where he's looked really good and could contend against somebody like Pace. I'm fine with that. Mid lane Quid, if he's on, he's on. Like, he can 100% go toe-to-toe with Faker if Faker's not in prime form, which he's not typically at this early on in the year. Sure, absolutely. Support is the one role that I cannot in good conscience just sit here and be like, yeah, Core JJ's either going to be able to outshot call Keria or outplay in lane against Keria. I'm terrified of how this bot lane's going to go. You got to go into it believing that you're going to win it. Obviously, if you don't, then what are you doing at this tournament? But we need Core JJ to hit 2019 levels of performance to be able to win this one. I won't take up any more of your time. That's pretty much all the headlines that I need to cover in this particular one. When Sunday morning comes and you have this video in your feed at probably like hopefully 9 a.m.-ish, I really do need you all to give me honest and constructive feedback about how I'm going to be doing the replays, or at least like showing some of the highlights of the series. I'm trying to find music similar to NFL Primetime. I'm not finding any luck at the moment, so I'm just going to pick something in general to make sure it's on there. But I do want to know your thoughts because I'm going to be trying to go really hard with this series given that I have off work next week. So I have the time to be able to invest a little bit into this series, see if it's a format that you guys like. Maybe I can then replicate it come, well, Worlds is in North America, so I'll have a little bit more time on that front. But I just want to know what you all think. So please be open-minded, be critical at the same time, but fair with your criticism. So that's it. Good luck to everybody. If you're going to be starting off in rank 5s, you're going to be watching games, have fun this weekend. I will be here. I'll be live on Twitch, posting shorts every day on TikTok, and I'll see you around. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a great morning and great rest of your day. Bye-bye.